Proud of the team. We knew it was going to be a tough game. Temple came in here knowing that they needed this win. They were ahead of us in the standings and felt like this would be a big road win for them, so they played very desperate. We didn't play our best game, even though we held them to like 37% for the game. They shot really well in the first half, and then in the second half, things kind of went our way more in the field goal percentage, like 37% for the entire game, and I'm really proud of that. But with us having such an ugly game and not being able to ever push off to get this win against a tough Temple team, I'm proud of that.
You talk about them being able to win some of those battles as far as on the offensive boards and you guys turning the ball over. What does it mean that you're still able to pull out an 8-point win over a team like this while not playing your best game?
Yeah, I mean, they had 18 offensive rebounds. I mean, that's a lot of offensive rebounds to give up. But we just kept plugging away. We brought that shooting percentage down in the second half. I think they shot, 41% in the first half, and in the second half they shot 32%. So, I mean, it was a tale of two different halves, but too many offensive rebounds, and then for them to shoot 41% in the first half, and then for us to come out with this victory, score 48 points in the second half, and shoot, I think, 57% for us in the second half. That was crucial.
Hey, Coach, what type of momentum can this game give you going forward for the next couple of games left in the season?
Well, it can give us a lot of momentum because we started a couple weeks ago with our mindset on taking every game one at a time, buying into the game plan, buying into the fundamentals that we know that we need to do, that we need to have to win these type of games, shutting down the other team's best players. We did a good job on Shiz Austin and Quentin Rose. Even though Shiz Austin had 22, he was 6 for 17 and 2 for 11 from three. We set out on this mindset 2 or 3 weeks ago to start playing on this level, so this win continues to build our confidence.
Penny, Houston's got the 33-game home winning streak. Temple beat them at their place. Now you beat Temple here. Is the evidence mounting that if you guys play to your potential that anything's possible here next month?
Well, I said that a couple weeks ago when we played UCF and I got blasted for it. I guess I'm not supposed to say that my team can play with anybody when we're playing well, but honestly, when we're doing things right, we're really good. We're a good team. We're capable of doing some things that people thought that we couldn't do. And the belief that the team has in each other and everybody buying in we're peaking at the right time to be able to do some great things moving forward.
Hey, Coach, when you put Jones in for the first time, you gave him some last-minute encouragement before you put him out there, and then he really gave 100%. Talk about his play tonight and what you said to him to get him to that level.
Yeah, I just told him I had his back and to go out there and be aggressive. Don't worry about making mistakes. Be aggressive offensively. If you see a shot that you can take, that you like, take it. And he made his first three because he came off the screen and they went under, and I told him to shoot it. He made it. So I think that said a lot to him because of where he's been for the last couple of weeks, maybe a month. I'm sure as a freshman, his emotions have gone so up and down so much this year, but we do know that he has a talent, and he was a huge part of us winning today.
Penny, you mentioned, your comments that you can play, that you got blasted, but that when you guys are playing well, you can play with anyone. And but how much does Jeremiah play into that with what he's doing right now?
It's huge. It's huge. It's just, I think that it's shocking everybody else on the team, and they haven't really figured out how to get their rhythm going with him in his rhythm. And I think once we figure that out, that we'll be more dangerous. I think that Tyler's struggling a little bit because we've kind of turned the attention from anybody shooting the ball at any time to getting the ball to Jeremiah and then playing through Jeremiah. I think it's affected Keevan a little bit. It has not affected Ray because he gets a lot of offensive rebounds. It maybe affected Mike Parks a little bit, maybe Isaiah Maurice, but we're going through Jeremiah. That's why we're being so successful now because he's delivering every game.
The run that Antoine got tonight, how much of that was about just kind of the matchups with the athleticism they presented and going forward? I mean, how much do you think are you going to have him just to survive some matchup situations?
Yeah, I think anytime we go small, then Antoine is a part of that plan. He didn't get as much time at Wichita State because we were in a different mindset and his mind wasn't right. Once that I saw that his mind was right, I gave him the confidence to let him know I was behind him. And once his confidence lifted, then I was able to keep him on the floor. The talent isn't the problem. It's just he kind of checks out sometimes when things aren't going his way. And he stayed engaged the entire time because he made his first shot. He made a couple good plays, made some defensive plays, the great block that he had in the first half. So, I mean, we know that's what Twan can do. and I'm just going to continue to be supportive. And he just has to stay positive throughout the ups and the downs.
Penny, was the toughness there tonight that you've been hoping to see in this team?
Oh, for sure. I think it's been there for like the last couple weeks. I think we've been really grinding it out. Even the loss at UCF, we just made a couple mental mistakes, but they tried to knock us out 2 or 3 times, and we've been showing on a weekly basis that we're capable of just staying in there, sustaining, and then fighting back and taking a lead and getting a win. And today's game was no different. It was a playoff game in our minds. We knew it was not going to be easy. And Temple plays that slow, methodical game with 3 really good guards, and we hung in there. So, yes, the toughness is there now.
Penny, you mentioned getting blasted. Some were critics. Some thought you were too blunt about Kevin today on the radio. What's your philosophy about giving straight answers? Because you seem to. And then during the game today, I noticed Kevin came, and you said, "Don't hesitate, shoot it." He made the 3. What's your philosophy on coaching?
I'm like that every day. I mean, I talk to Kevin. I've talked to the team like that from day one. I'm not here to please everybody. I mean, I hate that it kind of got out like that I was on Kevin, but if everyone here remembers, like the month of November, December, and half of January, I said Kevin was unstoppable. Kevin was a guy that couldn't be stopped, that I haven't seen anybody stop him yet. So you're not going to get those articles written. So it doesn't really matter to me when people say I was too blunt today. I just keep it real, and that's what I'm going to do with my team. Kevin understands that I love him. The way that it came out was me just describing how was the experience, how it's been this year with Kevin, and it just is what it is, man. I'm not out to embarrass any kid. You know that. Anybody knows that. So if you know me, I meant what I said. I talked to the team about it today. They understood, and I'm just going to always just be 100%. Real with my kids so they understand where I'm coming from, because when they're doing well, I'm going to praise them. When they're not doing well, I'm going to let them know. And if I'm not coaching well, I'm going to say the same thing. So unfortunately, we live in a world where you can't be real all the time.
How much more dynamic is the backcourt when Antoine plays like this, and also how important is it to get the 3 freshmen going heading into this final stretch and into the conference tournament?
It makes us very dynamic because he's our biggest guard. You know, he's our strongest guard. He's a playmaker. He made shots tonight. He's capable of defending and rebounding the ball at a high level when he wants to. So when you have him going well, then everything is big. And I've been begging and pleading with him, Alex, and Tyler you're not freshmen anymore. You know, you're seeing the game plan. Stick to the game plan. Don't try to do anything extra. Whatever comes extra, take that. But don't try to go out there and do anything that you're not accustomed to doing or that the game plan doesn't entail. So, you know, that's basically, we need those freshmen, you know, to go through the conference for the next couple of games and conference tournament.
Penny, with each game, it seems like the pressure gets higher and higher with each being a must-win. Do you think your team has responded well to that?
Absolutely. They've responded well, for sure. They're more locked in now than they've ever been. It definitely hasn't always been that way, and I think that they're enjoying the winning. They're enjoying the process of the practice leading up to the game and really engaged in the shoot-arounds. That's something that we wanted to work towards, and we're peaking at the right time.
Outside of mandatory practices and film sessions, how much effort should players in their own personal time put into watching film and practicing and that kind of a thing to be successful?
Well, I think that they should, after every game, you know, watch themselves, watch the team, kind of understand our schemes, what we wanted to do. They all know it, and then see how well we did. And then we don't have to get on them as much. They'll kind of police themselves if they watch more. Like we watch all day, all night, and we're able to come back in and say, hey, this is what's going on. And then we show them as a team. But I think you need to do it individually as well. And they don't do that enough. I think they just depend on us so much. But I think as a player, you need to see yourself and see what the team is doing so you can kind of be more engaged with what's going on.
Hey, Coach, there's a big win tonight, but you still got another big road win coming up this week. What can you take from this game to try to get a rare road win in the American?
Well, I think the thing that you can take from this game is that it's going to be it's like a playoff game. Every possession is big. Today, every possession was big. When you go on the road, you got to make defensive stops, you know, and then on the offensive end, you can't have empty possessions. You can't have live ball turnovers. You can't take bad shots. Every possession counts, and that's what happened today. So you can take that from this game into that game.
Not in terms of his shooting, but the other parts of Tyler's game. Where are you on has your mind changed on situations where you feel like you can use him based on matchups, maybe getting overwhelmed a little bit physically, whether on defense or big guards guarding him with the ball?
Yeah, we talked about that as a staff, and Tyler knows now that everybody's kind of targeting him, trying to post him up. They're trying to put a bigger guy on him so he can't see over the defense, and we're just kind of protecting him with the bigs. If they try to post him up or try to crowd it, because we need him on the floor. They're trying to get him off the floor because he's a weapon, and it frustrates him because a lot of times he gets like fouls from guys trying to post him up, or they're not leaving him on the offensive end to give him any shots. The game plan is when he comes into the game is to stop him, and on the offensive end and to go at him. So we're trying to help him understand that the way to stay out there, take more charges, sprint up and down the floor and get to those corners in transition, try to get your shots off in transition, because in the half court they're going to try to take you out. Yeah, well, what happens is, he hadn't made his jump shot isn't falling, and I think he lives and dies in that jump shot. He's a really good shooter, but he's been in a little slump. So he missed a shot and he just got dejected, and he didn't see the guy behind him. And then by the time he finally looked up, he didn't want to give up a layup, and it ended up being a flagrant. So that's just a freshman mistake, and you just talk to him about it. Just don't live in the moment with the shot. Just move on to the next play.
Jeremiah is getting more and more attention off the court too. Like when he's introduced, and you know as well as anyone what it's like in this town to be on a roll and the attention you get. Are you impressed, or have you had to talk to him about keeping a level? He doesn't seem to be getting to him at all in terms of getting a big head.
Yeah, I stay in his ear. The one luxury of having us as a staff is that we've been there. We've been there throughout all these moments that he's going through right now, so we can kind of coach him through not only the game but off the court and how to handle this situation. He's already a humble kid. I'm sure that he's taken back by everything that's going on, but he's appreciative. I mean, the ovation today was louder than it's been all season, because everybody's understanding their appreciation and understanding what we're witnessing from him right now. The entire month of February, averaging 30 points a game. So it gets bigger than you sometimes, and you just have to keep a level head. Thank you.